Hey besties, come let's make ogbono soup with freshly washed bitter leaf. I walked towards where we have the bitter leaf in the compound in order to get the quantity I need to cook this soup, okay? So I was not really getting enough from this particular place. I have to change to other points where we have another set of bitter leaf. So I just want to get enough, and at this point I think I'm okay with the quantity I've gotten, so I have to sun dry it a bit in order for me to wash it so well. I don't want it to break into particles. I need it a kind of long but not too long, so I sun dried it a bit. So I packed it up and I resumed my washing, okay? So at the process of washing, I find out that the bubbles or the foam, I don't know, was just so too much. I have to add a little palm oil to it in order to break down the bubbles or the foam, whatever. Okay, normally I don't really do this. I do get my bitter leaf in the market whenever I want to cook, but today I summoned the courage, and I did it. Yay! So at this point we are done. I've washed it to my satisfaction, okay? I think I'll cook the rest. Then I proceed to my beef. I'll be using beef for today's food, okay? And this is me. I've washed the beef, I set it aside, and that of my fresh fish, I washed it, I set it aside. Then I proceed to my cow skin kpomo. I washed it so thoroughly. Then I went to my periwinkle. I set everything aside. Then I deboned my fish, my stock fish. I washed them, I set aside. Then I cut the cow skin, the kpomo, into smaller parts in order for me to use it, okay? And this is the point where I boil the bitter leaf in order to take out the remaining bitterness from it. So everything is ready, the bitter leaf is ready this period, okay? So I just have to test it if it's okay. And when I tested it, the bitterness was not there, it was just mild to be used to cook. So everything is set, so I have to proceed to my cooking. I just have to proceed. As you can see the bitter leaf now, check it out now. Oh, so and I said put my pot on fire and put my meat and that of my fresh fish, okay, is I checked my pot after some minutes, so the meat and the fish have washed at extent, so I have to add water and add stockfish and that of dry fish and my kpomo. The kpomo was a kind of hard, so I have to add it in order for it to cook very well. So if it wasn't hard, I would have not added it now, but it was hard, so I have to add it earlier. So and add salt, add some seasoning, then cover for it to cook very well. Then that I went down to my pepper. I have to pound my pepper. I used this fresh pepper and it was so hot. As in, I knew I would have not used all this, so I used this pepper and I have to pound it together with my crayfish because I wasn't really having enough time. I have a lot of things I have to do, so I have to pound it together and it's ready. I set that aside. Then after scooping it out, I set it aside. Then I have to go check what was on the fire. I checked my meat and it is doing well. It has come to a boil. I have to add my pepper and the crayfish I pounded earlier, but before then I just have to remove it in order for it not to scatter. I have to remove it, things like this. I just have to remove it. I removed it and I set it aside. Then I have to add my pepper and crayfish, and our food is ready to be cooked to our satisfaction. Cooking is actually one of my hobby. I love cooking a lot. I love trying new things when it comes to cooking. So I just have to do anything when it comes to cooking. I have to take my time, in order to cook it, and it tastes nice, it come out nice. So I've just added the crayfish and that of the fresh pepper. I've added them both and it's boiling. Then I add my seasoning and taste. At this point we just have our food is almost ready. It's just ready. Once the thing comes to a boil, we are done. We're almost done. So at this very point, I have to cover the pot to cook. Then I put my ogbono. I mix it with palm oil. I love this method. A lot of people do fry, but I don't think I like that frying of a thing. I do this. I add it with my palm oil. The oil I'll be using to cook the soup. That is what I'll be using to mix the ogbono. Then when properly mixed, you just have to, add it, and it will not have lumps. It won't have lumps. When you mix it this way and you add it into your boiling pot, it will not have lumps at all. This is my method for a very long time. I've been using this method for a very long time. I'm not a fan of frying soup. I'm not actually a fan of it, but it's not that it's bad, but I don't just fancy it. So I think I have to add more oil to it because it was not giving me that consistency that I need. So I added some oil to it in order for it to blend and soak so well into the oil before proceeding to add it into my pot. I just have to add it into my pot now because after mixing it, my pot has already come to boil. So I have to add it to it, and our soup is ready. Yeah, so I've just added it to the pot, and at ogbono soup I prefer using any swallow but not fufu. I don't like using fufu to pair it with ogbono soup. I can use another swallow but not fufu. I'm not a fan of fufu when it comes to ogbono soup. Okay, so I just added my periwinkle to the soup, and the next thing is my leaf because the soup is just ready at this point. So I just added our bitter leaf. So I add my bitter leaf. I added enough because I had enough. I added enough to it, and I have to bring it to a boil, and we are set to consume our bitter leaf soup. Okay, our ogbono soup with bitter leaf. Yeah, so you can see it. You can see it though. So the next thing is to add our fish stick that we removed earlier in order for it not to break as a result of turning all the time. Okay, at this point our food is ready. Okay, once I've added my ogbono, I don't like covering my pot any longer. I think people said, and what I heard though I've not really experienced it, so it will not stop the drawness or the sliming or whatever, so it will not cut it, so I don't cover. So as you can see, I just dish out. So I've just dish it out and ready to be paired with all the swallow you want to, any swallow. So let me know at the comment section what you'll be pairing your ogbono soup with. Is this fufu, oat swallow, wheat or semo? Okay, and please don't forget to support your girl by liking and subscribing to my channel. Thank you, love you.